you ready? Are you ready?
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Circle of Gratitude.
We in the circle.
We in the circle. I hope everybody's doing well. Once again, I'm gonna say it once again. Frankie and Johnny, sis, we appreciate you holding down the chat. It's always a pleasure for you to do what you do. So we appreciate you, man. So what's going on, brother D? How's everything? All is well?
Everything is good, man. Just up here working these hours.
Yeah, man. Get it, bro.
Yes,
You get
sir.
it, bro. Get it, man. Yeah, man. So yeah, we just want to welcome everybody to the Circle of Gratitude. We said we was going back live and making things happen and giving some positive vibes and making sure everybody, hopefully, they could take some out of what we're giving and our input on where we see stuff. So we're glad that everybody will come in and take a peek and just see what we doing over here. You know, just like I said, to help someone. You know, they say all you gotta do is help one, and then the word will spread fast. You know,
Hmm.
so we got a good subject, man. I think me and my co-host right here, brother D, you know, holding it down. We came up with this title, man, because I think you know we a lot of us run into this situation, and the title reads: Should everything require a reaction or response, and how it can have a negative effect? um, which I think, and personally, I think that can happen with relationships, marriages, friendships, co-workers, at jobs. Um, and sometimes I think through times, you know, I'm not going to blame it, but it's just a given thing that I believe that because of COVID and everybody being contained in a home and have to face different things. A lot of things get more sensitive, and I think more people have gotten sensitive over the years. Um, and I think that it can play a part. And then sometimes people never work out old issues, and now
You
everything.
meaning all issues from like the previous?
Well, old issues from previous relationships, and even something that might have happened
Yeah.
a few years back. You know what I'm saying? In your own relationship. Um, but some things that if it's never discussed and never brought up, it can, as we say, it can have a negative effect because some of the responses that you're getting can be so simple to a reaction, but it turned into something real big because of those old things hadn't resolved. You know what I mean? So we have to just really look at different things and look at ourselves sometimes, and actually, as they say, look at the man in the mirror or woman or such. You have to look into that and understand that, is it me, or is it something that might come about because of whatever reason that we never resolved those past issues. Um, what would you say about that, D? I mean, just in your opinion.
Man, it's a problem, man. I mean, yeah, when you bringing that into the new, it's a lot of confusion, man, because the other person ain't gonna know how to act or respond to you, man.
Right.
It's just, man, it's just bad, man. And then it's sad that that person ain't gonna never see it. They'll never
Yeah.
see it.
But the thing about it is you don't see it, but it also can be too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to, we've had this discussion before, D, and I always say I think things need to be addressed when it happens, because some things end up happening later on, and it resurfaces because all you do is put a band-aid on it. You know what I mean? but you can't put a Band-Aid on a 4-inch cut 3 inches deep. Band-Aid ain't gonna do the trick for that.
Right.
Oh, and then, as they said, even if you do it and it do heal, it also becomes a scar. So kind of look at that in the same sense of a relationship, that you have a scar that's something that you can always look at, and it would never heal over a period of time. Well, yeah, if you have stitches, yeah, you'll have a scar, but it's very vague and very small versus something that would never go away. Far as the major scarring. And I think a lot of times in relationships, friendships, marriages, work relationships become scarred over a period of time when no one want to address those things. And you find people responding to something. It's just like if you get into a situation with somebody, anything they say, they can't do anything right, and it seems like anything they might say to you, even if it's something like, hey, did you pick up this? And it's like, wow, it's always a negative effect in that, because you hadn't addressed the thing prior to. So that's why I said, don't let things continue to go on without being addressed at that moment. I mean, and that's my opinion, but that's what I feel, and we have to understand that if we do those type of things, not necessarily mean it's going to help it, but it probably can make a lot of things more easier.
It can, because after a while it'll start to wear on that person, man, and eventually something can change, something can work out.
Yeah, man. And sometimes, like I said, you if we tend to continue to brush it under the rug, man, and never get resolved, it can end up being, it might be.
Man, why you think people always brush stuff up under the rug all the time? What's the real reason why? Because that other person's gonna get in that ass.
Yeah, but I think, in my opinion, bro, I think a lot of that comes from a lot of people. Either one, it's a few things can come into play with it. One is because they don't know how that person gonna respond. Two, I think, in my opinion, I think that they don't know how to respond. Three, I think another thing, I think, is the point of they don't have the answer to it, which we all don't have all the answers to anything, but you have to, at some point, have to cross that bridge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like it's just like, okay, like coming in where I stay. The only way to get from Tampa to where I'm at basically is you got to cross that bridge. Either that or you got to boat. You see what I'm saying? But the same way, you still got to have a way to get in it, but you got to cross that water. So I think a lot of people don't want to cross that bridge or don't want to get in that boat. They'll rather just stay on one side and keep it that way.
Yeah.
And to me, again, it goes back to the same thing. It's still not getting addressed. You know what I'm saying? So we have to know that when you don't apply that to your situation, it's going to always be a problem. And now that anytime it's just like a person get caught doing something, like, we're just going to use a job example. You didn't broke that trust. So when you broke that trust, now it's going to you have to build that trust back up again. So that's just like anything. If you get into a physical altercation with your significant other, or girlfriend, boyfriend, or even a brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can get over it, but in the back of your mind, that thought still's going to be there at some point. You know what I'm saying? So, but if it don't, some things that we can address, that there again, when it says a negative effect, it can have a negative effect over a period of time. Then also it can have a negative effect of when the person relationship ain't the same. Man. You know, if I tell you, D, man, I never talk about you, I never do this, I never say that, but then at that point I cross that line. Well, yeah, you still gonna cut for me, whatever, but at the same time, you're gonna still gonna have some skepticism in there, you know, somewhere. Because my word should have been my bond. You know, and I think anybody should have, when you say your word is your bond, your word is your bond. So I think a lot of us just fail to understand of how how negative that effect it can have on that. I don't know. I think I lost D. Can anybody hear me? Can you hear me, Frankie? Hold on. Can you hear me, bro? Hello? D.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Anybody? Can you hear me, D? I don't know why nobody can hear me. Hold on just a second. Because I know there ain't nobody here. Let me see. Hello? Anybody? Hold on, let me see. Let me see here. Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello? Can anybody hear me? If somebody's in the chat, can you type in if you can hear me or not? Because I don't know. It seems like I'm having some technical difficulties over here. Can anybody hear me? Anybody? Can anybody type in and say if they can hear me or not in the chat? Can anybody hear me? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anybody? So I don't know what happened. Okay.
What's up, mama?
Nothing.
Doing all right?
How are you?
Yeah.
Good, all right. Talking with my daughter.
Yes, but should everything require a reaction and a response on how you can have a negative effect? I really see that really playing. You here with me, D? Hello? Can anybody hear me? I don't know what's going on with this thing. D? Yeah, but can anybody hear me? Can anybody type in the chat and say if they can hear me or not? Because it seems like I'm having some technical difficulties over here. Let me see. Hello? So anyway, we were having a discussion about should everything require reaction or response? And how can it have a negative effect? So, I really think that, like we were speaking on, that it can have definitely a negative effect in, like I said, friendships, brotherhood, sisterhood. It can have all kind of negative effects and everything. D, you with me? Know what's going on. Yeah, but so I mean, but if anybody would like to chime in, because like I said, I think this is a subject that I think we should all speak on and talk about, because I think a lot of us, like I said, like we spoke about earlier, that they would sweep things under the rug and not address things. I mean, like I said, it can be in relationships, it could be in friendships, it could be in jobs or whatever. But I don't know. I think one thing I've seen in relationships, that, a person has gotten either fed up with that person, or a lot of things hadn't been taken care of as far as the conversations, or even a disagreement that they might have had. Because I don't think nobody should have this argument or drag out argument about something that they just didn't address in the past, because of somebody didn't want to hurt someone's feelings, or somebody didn't want to didn't know how to respond without being I guess I would say being nasty about it or whatever. You shouldn't have to be nasty when we're two grown adults. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna send the link in the chat in case anybody would like to come up and speak on what we're speaking on, because I would love to hear someone's input on this, or maybe even a situation that they might have came across, that they think that even something about how not addressing something in a period of time, how negative it can be in a long period of time. As far as it can, like I said, sometimes it could be a couple months, could be a year, be 2 years, but something that would trigger that person to make them upset about it, that they feel that now it has a negative effect on it, because they continuously always snapping or having an attitude or something like that. Or if you ask them something, it's just never can be a straightforward answer. It's always got to be something, in an angry type manner, which I don't think no one deserves a negative response on something. And it's all comes back to play of your deliverance. Because little bro, he always say, your deliverance plays a big part.
Hold on, give me a second.
He said always has it can definitely put a, your deliverance can make a big difference when it comes to how a person responds to you. Because if you walk up to your significant other, or you walk up to a friend and you scream, hold on just a second. What up, Q? What up? Welcome to the circle of gratitude. How are you?
I am good. I'm black as hell right now. Hold on. You see me?
There you
Can
go.
you see me now? Can you check me out?
Check it out. I'm checking.
You see me here? All right, I'm in here. I'm listening to what you got going on. What we talking about?
We said, should everything require a reaction or response, and how can it have a negative effect? And like I was explaining, I told him, I said that sometimes if we don't address something and let it build up, then of course it can have a negative effect. We have to, I used to always tell D this, and I used to always tell, have a conversation where I think a lot of things should be addressed at the beginning versus waiting to the last minute. What you say, brother Sir Miguel? What's up, my brother?
Blessings, my brother. Blessings, Queen. Blessings to the
Hey,
people.
how you doing?
Brothers on the channel, on the panel. How y'all doing this evening?
Oh, wonderful, brother. Wonderful, man. It's always, like I said, we love when you grace yourself with your presence, brother. I tell you that much, man.
I appreciate you having me, brother. It's all love.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, I don't know if you had kind of got a whiff of what I was saying earlier, but yeah, man, I just noticed how, and you know, something what you messaged me also, that plays a big part, man, in a lot of things, that how we get responses and reactions. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I see people that a lot of times when, and like I said, I always talk to my little brother D. I always tell him, I said, man, if you have an issue with something, man, definitely address it at that moment. And I think it's not always, it always can turn out good, but at the same time, without all the anger built up in behind it. Because I mean, I've been a product of that in my past marriage, man. And when I did it, and it's like, you know, you let stuff go, then when that enough is enough comes, then it's a blow up, drag out argument. You know what I mean? Which, like I said, as far as we are adults, I don't believe anybody should have an argument. I think it should be a discussion. You know, so would you like to elaborate on that, brother?
I think you're absolutely correct. I think one of the biggest problems is that the majority, I would say not majority, but some adults don't know how to communicate or have conversations. And I think one of the biggest issues you see now is everybody want to throw their conversations or differences on social media.
Mm.
One person may be speaking something that may have happened with another individual, but you didn't hear from the other individual who they may have a problem with.
Mm.
So it may come up 2 or 3 days or a week later. I think one of the biggest problems for us nowadays is we air out too much business that don't have nothing to do with people who don't even know us per se.
Correct.
So when you're
I would
talking
agree.
about so when you're talking about communicating and having a conversation, you also have got to remember you need to think before you speak.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you come off a certain way, those words may have a reaction that you might not want to either hear, or it may make the situation worse than what it is.
Absolutely.
The third part of this, I'll say this much. Everything don't need to have a response, especially if you know it's not true.
True.
Too many people are reacting to things they know are not true. They either want to be heard, they either want attention, or they're going through something that they haven't resolved. So guess what? I'm making an issue even though I know it ain't true.
Right. Yeah, I would agree 100% on that, man. And I think I guess it bothers me because of we as parents and we as grown-ups, we lead by example.
Correct.
But then we see a lot of the younger generation of it's so much turmoil in the world today, and these are our future. You know what I mean? As far as seeing them when we're older, much older, and and stuff like that. That we out here carrying on like their age. You know what I mean? And I would just call it, because there's no age to that. I think it's just immaturity. You know what I mean? I think that's where I think it's a better word for it.
You
Because
are absolutely
huh?
you are absolutely correct when you say immaturity,
Yeah,
because you have teenagers acting like adults and adults acting like teenagers.
absolutely. Right.
So when
So
the
yeah,
roles are reversed, too many people are trying to be friends with their either young teenage children or teenagers on the street or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying that's for all teenagers, because we do have teenagers and adults who can be very respectful and cordial and so forth and so on. I
right.
think the heightened sense is because we see it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just by somebody throwing up a video when something has occurred the day before or the day of.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So We even have to be careful as adults when we're allowed to enter our eyesight, because guess what? It does affect us mentally too. If we're always drawn to it, and then we can end up acting like that, which can be deposited into our children or even other adults.
Right. Yeah. And you man, you hit the nail on the head, man. And like I said, I just see how negative that it turned out. Like you said, it's like, you know, they speak on different things about the next individual, but like you stated, you know, earlier, you know, it was like, but you know, it's not true, so why would you respond? But that's why I put the ending on it and how it can have a negative effect, because it's a domino effect in so many words to me. Because that if, okay, I said this about Sir, okay, Sir said this about this person, so then it goes on and on and on, and now at the end of the day, because I can guarantee it's 5 individuals on this panel. That means by the time you tell me something, by the time you get to Quinn, get to D, that story to change 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I don't see, I mean, not saying it might be not verbatim, but it can be something that's turned around, especially if you got that, just what if you got that negative, that middle person is just so negative. Well, they're going to make it sound even worse than it really was. You might have said, hey, man, you know, Sir was on thing on Friday. Oh, man, but he was on Friday, man, with nobody on there. And you see what I'm saying? So it turns, it takes so many turns because people have, I don't know, mentality is not, they don't believe in positive mentalities anymore. They don't believe in, and this YouTube is like, and I get it why we that's why we keep it what we talk about. We talk about something that's positive, something that can really maybe put you know, something on a person's mind or in their heart to, you know, change. Not saying we can't change the world, but we can, like I said, sometimes all it takes is 1 or 2 or 3. You know, someone can hear that message that we relay to them, so that we tell us our opinion and our input. But at the same token, you know, we're trying to give something a positive that somebody can use probably in their everyday life, that we probably observe and see, or something we experience, so that they won't go. Because you know how we do our kids, you know, we don't want them to go through a lot of things that we went through in our life. You see what I'm saying? So we want to put it in the perspective of that we can help them not to go that route that we have or we went through, or however and so forth. You know what I mean? So
correct.
So that's why I just see a lot of things that we're doing what we do because we like to pour into people, and we want to see people, you know, do better, and want to see people, you know, find their calling, or find their faith, you know, rebuild their faith or strengthen their faith. Because we understand what we're going through in life today is not of who we serve. You know what I mean? It's such a negative effect that plays a big part. And it's like, if we had people constantly coming in and you go live, sir, and they just say, oh yeah, man, well, why are you talking about that? And all this other stuff, to throw you off of what your true message was. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that. It should be to be where we are right now. We are on a panel. We're talking. We're giving our input. We're asking for different opinions. Nobody's judging anybody. And we're just hearing things out, but on a positive note. You know, and I think if we can, you know, get more of us to be on that note instead of the negativity, I think we can make a difference. You see what I'm saying? Because guess what? Like, you got your page, I have mine. We out, you know, different things. And here goes the thing: we're not gonna let anybody stop us from feeling to try to pour positivity into people today.
I couldn't agree more.
You know, so that's why I said I commend you, brother. I take my hat off to you, bro, of what you do, man. And I am once again so glad that you went on and started, because, man, you have a lot to say, man, and you have powerful words, brother. You know what I'm saying? You speak with power. You know what I mean? And I really appreciate it. Like I said, I really thought I missed you live, man. Oh my God, I was like, Oh man. I was my mind. I was like, no, I know I didn't miss this, man. And I looked, I said, what the man? My days had got so turned around, man. We had to drive to Texas, man, and we drove, and I got called, trying to do a lot of things, man. I had to get a little sleep and get back on the road, man. And when you said that, I was like, I'm glad I missed it. I ain't miss it, man.
No, brother, I appreciate those words, man. And at the end of the day, you know what the true conversation has been. You know what it is. But I think more importantly, it's important that we do speak the truth and speak truth to power. Whether you agree with me or whether you agree with Brother Shaq or whoever, we're not trying to get anybody to agree with us on anything, because I would rather for you to do your homework based off the information that's given. But if we don't counteract the negative, then how can we produce productive people from teenagers to adults?
Correct. I agree 100%, bro.
The fight has to be fought not only genuinely, but in such a way where people can hear you without being drowned out with all the nonsense that goes on. Because even in Jesus' day, he heard all the negative, he heard all the nonsense, but he still spoke what was needed to be spoken to those who would listen.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, the multitude of people that was around him, most of them left. So he only had a few. So if you can speak to one person, that may go to 2, 3, or 4, or 5.
Absolutely.
For that day or whatever the case may be. You don't need a majority of people to make change, because guess what? The majority of people, take for example in Congress, they're supposed to make change, but they're actually causing chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go to the grassroots level, the people you don't hear about who's making the change, you don't hear anything about them, because guess what? Nobody really wants to see them, but they're being seen by others who appreciate them without any form of flattery, famous, or whatever the case may be. But the work is getting done. So it's no different whether you have a channel, I have a channel, or whoever the case may be. As long as we can tap into the minds and the souls of one person, we have done the job for that day, and then we'll move on to the next.
True, man. See, that's what I'm talking about. See that power you speak, brother. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what we here to send out this message, man. And like I said, well, as Brother Sir Miguel, and I think everybody on this panel, I believe, the joy of knowing that you could speak truth, you could speak positive into people's world when everything around them is negative. It makes you feel, it's not a gratification, it's not a pat on the back, but it's just the point of what we're here for. It's a reason that I started this channel. It's a reason that Sir Miguel started his channel, because and then hopefully somebody hear it and then make them want to start, but we all on the same page, on the same accord. So now it's going to be like, it ain't about who popular. It don't matter if you go to Sir, it don't matter if you go here, whatever, but eventually you're going to continue to hear the same message, because that's how our Father works. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking through us to speak to you guys. You see what I'm saying? So when we speak to you guys, he's speaking through us so that we can send out a positive message, because like I said, the negativity is off the charts. Off the charts, man. And actually, I used to hear a guy, here we used to sit here and say how we come in, we speak, ain't nobody over talking nobody, everybody giving everybody their respect, ain't nobody screaming and hollering, ain't nobody out here name calling. To me, that's man, that's what it need to be, because I think we're all adults. We shouldn't have to be sitting here name calling and doing all this to get our point across. Because guess what? We have to value and really give people their respect. Like I said, we're not here to Sister Queen. We ain't trying to, talk against her or try to be chauvinist and all this other stuff, man. We just speak to what we speak and what we feel. You know what I'm saying? And not to be disrespectful in any kind of way, because you don't do that, and I definitely don't do that. We don't do the disrespect thing, you know. And I think that's what we, sharing that. And like I said, I think, we can really make a difference, man. And that's what made me get back on it, man, because I'm like, I told Brother Dean and I told my brothers, man, I said, look, man, we gotta get back on there, because my wife didn't even say, she said, oh, well, baby, you going live? I'm like, no, I ain't gonna go live. I start making excuses, but now, man, it just hit me again, man. And then when I saw Brother Miguel make it, I said, oh, I got to get back on now, man, because I say, if they don't get it one way, they don't get another, because I know Brother Miguel gonna speak it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, iron sharpens iron in that aspect, man. You know what I mean?
You took the words right out of my mouth, and that's the beauty of you being a brother to me, because you helped sharpen that iron that needed to be sharpened, that was sort of kind of dull, because I really wanted to stay behind the scenes.
Right.
But the more people kept trying to get me to do this and da 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 da, and after we had that long conversation, man, it needed to be said, because the spirit had to be deposited into me in order for me to see the vision that needed to be displayed in order for us to mature as people. Somebody got to say something.
True. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, brother, 1,000%.
Oh yeah, man. No, absolutely, man. It's just like I said, though, man. I'm telling you, I was so happy to see that you took that step, man. And like I said, because like I said, you speak volume, man. You speak volume, brother. And it's like I said, I sit back and when you just come up on the panel, man, and you would say a lot of things, it has me thinking a lot, and really sharpen my iron, you know what I mean? Because I'm saying like, wow, man, that makes a lot of sense. And it puts some thoughts to you, you know what I mean? I like you had a short live I listened to the other day, and I was listening to it. And it was a short live, like you said, you did a quick live, and then I sit back and you made me really, and think on some things too, though, man, because sometimes you hear certain things and it's like, it catches your ear and you be like, oh, wow, man, because I think not enough of us actually really just broaden our mind in a lot of ways. Not saying that they can, or they nobody, and I'm not calling anybody, they're not smart or anything of that nature, but it's just like certain things have, triggered certain things in certain people, where if they hadn't told you that, but then of course, I think with you, Brother Sir Miguel, and everybody else on this panel, man, and even in the chat, that you have made a lot of people think, man, in a lot of ways, and to broaden their mind and actually, like they say, that subconscious mind or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? You sit there and you be like, wow, man, I never thought of that. And it's amazing that how just a few words can really make you, think, because I'll say myself, I've did a lot of things over the years. It's not saying that I was ignorant to the fact, but I try to broaden my vocabulary. I broaden my conversations and different things of that nature, that I can be able to speak, not to try to, fool nobody or whatever the case may be, but it's a way of helping me. And listening to you, man, it's like, you talk with such an intellect, man, that's like, it's outstanding, man. You know what I mean? And I think a lot more of us, man, because when they see you come on, brother, man, they be like, oh wow, sir, you're on here, man. It's like a, man, I say you grace us with your presence, bro. You know what I mean? And we love it.
Well, brother, I'll say this much, and I want to give a shout out to Just Jazz, because if it wasn't for her allowing me to be on her panel, you and I would have never met in the first place.
Correct.
And I think just looking back at that conversation that day, it not only changed me, but it helped me look at things that I needed to speak on, or I need to sit back and stay quiet about, because at the end of the day, like I tell people, I'm learning too. I'm going to continue to learn until my eyes are completely closed until I leave this earth.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to be the stubborn old man sitting in a rocking chair complaining, always got something to say, but never really did anything. Because when we become set in our ways, we're basically saying, I'm done with learning. This is what I'm about. I'm not going to evolve anymore. I don't want to retool my mind or whatever the case may be.
Right.
A lot of times, what we fail to realize, we all have been taught wrong, even by our parents, even by the school system that we've been in. So we have to take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and go beyond the classroom, go beyond the house, and put everything together and see, how does this line up in terms of where I need to go and where I need to be? At the end of the day, until you line yourself up with God the Father and understand what his parables mean to you on a spiritual level, as well as in this life, you'll never learn anything because you'll do everything from a carnal mindset.
Wow. I'm sorry, Brother McGill. I mean, Sir McGill. Hey, Brother Chris, Brother D, man. Hey, man. Welcome back, man. Welcome back. What's up, Brother Chris? I don't know. They probably just listening because they listening to the words.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, my brother. I just got through working out at the gym with one of my partners, and I'm getting stuff ready out my truck. I'm listening though. I'm good, my brother. How y'all doing? How's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm all right.
Good deal, man. But yeah, man. I just know, man, that you know, it's really the push. My wife kept asking me, "Oh, when y'all gonna get back on?" and all this other stuff, and then I'm like, you know, I don't know. It wasn't that I didn't want to do it, because I enjoy doing this. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I do it to, as we, you know, we're not doing it for views. We're not doing it for clicks. We're just doing it to really get a message out to somebody, you know. And I think, you know, that's why I asked you about the title. What did you think about the title, man? And speaking about the title, what would you say, Brother Miguel? How would you just really characterize? I mean, just kind of put this in perspective of what the title is, from your words, in your opinion.
Well, I think some things need a response, and some things don't. And a lot of times when you respond to things that you know you shouldn't respond to, the key word you had at the end was negative. It can come out negatively. When you knew in the back of your mind you shouldn't respond to it, because at the end of the day, you know what it is and what it ain't. And a lot of times when we give into things that we know that ain't true, sometimes it will have a negative impact, because you're engaging in something that you probably shouldn't have put yourself in, especially if you know what it is and what it's not. And I don't think people really understand when to be quiet and when to, you know, to speak. Right. A lot of times we want to run our mouth because we think we have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I can tell you that right now. At the end of the day, you know what you should respond to, and you know what's BS. And a lot of times we'll get tricked into speaking on BS when we know we shouldn't.
I would agree. I definitely would agree on that. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, because it goes back to when we say negative. Nothing of negative is good. You see what I'm saying? You know, I don't think it don't turn out well. You know, like I said, this can work in relationships, friendships. It can work in marriages, whatever the case may be. And I know, speaking on from my past to now, it's like it grew me in a lot of ways, as to not only make me a better man, but make me a better husband, to do things differently. As far as humbling myself, because a person is going through something, because sometimes people don't consider that a person is going through something, but you shouldn't want to add insult to injury, if I would say that, or a gasoline to the fire. Because like you said, do it require a response? If somebody say, well, you know, I didn't, you know, When you ask someone like, well, did you take the trash out? No, I didn't take trash out, you know, and respond in that way, which you could say, no, I forgot, baby, you know, or no, I forgot, honey, whatever the case may be. Sometimes, and D says that perfectly, man. He says it's all about your deliverance. And I stick by that, and I keep reiterating that over and over and over, because sometimes we can, I say, and you know, sir, I always would tell a person, man, in my opinion, that when you do something so much the same way, it tends to, a person has their guard up. And when they had a guard up, but if you it might not work the first time, maybe not the second time, but sometimes you end up getting, they realize that they see change in you. That if I'm always raising my voice, or if I'm always swearing, or doing whatever I do, but then I come to you in a mild-mannered way, in an humbling way, then yeah, you might be like, wait a minute, something ain't right. Well, then that might can bring on change that can take you away from that negative effect. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I found that to be, I don't know if he got something. I found that to be, it actually worked, you know, for me, you know, when I came to the point where I didn't respond to something, because sometimes people intentionally will try to trigger you, because they know, if I know sir will respond to something, and I'm having this bad day, I'm gonna say something that's gonna trigger him off, because I know how he's gonna respond. Well, because I'm having a bad day, I want sir to have a bad day. I want D to have a bad day. Quinn, I want everybody to have a bad day because I'm having a bad day. But that don't. So that means if I know you intentionally trying to do it, I'm not going to give you the response you want. I'm going to give you. I'm going to sit back and be like, okay, well, that's fine. I mean, sorry you feel that way. Not to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Not to be, I can't think of the word for it right now, but it being, you know, intentionally doing something to make you mad, but I'm just making myself feel better about responding to you, because I'm not going to feed into, and like you said, the BS. I'm not going to sit here, because I know you're intentionally trying to, like, you know, mess with me or piss me off or whatever case may be, but I'm not going to let you do that, because I already know where your mindset is. You're trying to intentionally do this. You're trying to trigger me off because you're mad. And I'm saying that because I say that from personal experience of what my past has been. And it shouldn't be that way, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think we should all uplift each other, man, instead of trying to tear each other down. That's just my opinion, but
I agree with you, brother. And I think at the end of the day, look how much energy it takes somebody who's miserable to bring other people in, to bring that same energy, or bring somebody out of character. So when you can get two people that's met with the same energy of misery loves company, then you have so much drama and negativity in between that you can't even see the positive from the person who actually was drawn into the BS, because they allowed that energy to attract them to something that they knew that they shouldn't have been involved in. I think a lot of times, even we as adults can get caught up in those types of scenarios, because we think if we're loud and boisterous, somebody will actually hear us, but we're actually just blowing smoke. And there's no true authenticity in what we're saying, because we've allowed ourselves to become involved in a dispute or a conversation that will allow us to go into a negative light. You know what I mean? So, as you said earlier, you know, whether it's relationships, whether it's in the boardrooms, this, that, and the third, and you think about it, even some CEOs tend to become negative or get caught up in things when they shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, even though I am the CEO, I must be careful what I say to people, because, as you said earlier, you don't know what an employee or the VP that's next to you is going through that day. You can't automatically assume that everybody wakes up the same way, because we don't. Some of us wake up and thank God every day. Some of us wake up looking for nonsense and BS. Some of us wake up just want to be quiet and do our thing. Some of us wake up and be like, what the whatever. You know what I mean? So we
Right.
have to be not only gentle, but we also need to be firm in what we receive and how we process it and how we put it back out into the atmosphere or to the masses of people that we may deal with or come in contact on a daily basis. And some people don't care about positive stuff in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just keep it a buck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So your spirit will tell you when you need to speak, when you need to be quiet, and when you need to respond to something that needs some feedback or some upliftment. But when you know that demonic spirit is out there that's trying to get you to rap, you know when to pull back and know, you know what? I don't need a response because guess what? This could turn out ugly.
Right. Man. Wow. Wow. That makes a lot of sense, man. It really it I guess I keep kind of going around the negative, man, because it's just I just see so much of it, man, by every day of which a person is walking around frowning. Now, I can't say what anybody's going through, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
or what they're going through. And maybe everybody reacts and do different things in different ways, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so funny that when I'm at work and I talk to a guy, but like, oh man, I'm not trying to be, a butthole about it, but whatever. I said, no, I said, man, look, and I explained to them, and I don't mean it in a sarcastic way, but I tell them, I said, I came to work happy. I'm going to leave work happy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that's what I set my goal as for this morning. And like you said, I wake up, I thank God that I woke up and I was able to open my eyes. I have a roof over my head, I have different things that's going on in my life. I have a beautiful wife. I have a wonderful relationship with her. My mom is still here under regardless of how she, went through with the stroke and everything. And I'm very grateful and thankful. So with everything to be grateful for, even though that it's been a lot of things going on, but I'm still thankful. But I want to put that positive energy in other people when they see me, that regardless of what you say to me, you don't curve me, you don't
Mhm.
move me when it comes to negative. I would
Mhm.
rather walk off and find another direction before I sit there and let your negative energy feeds into me. You know what I mean? So that's something that has been working for me for these past years. And for the most part, I think I pretty much think I stay as positive as I can. If someone called and asked me something, which Brother Miguel, I know you got people calling you, brother, with all that positive you got, man.
You,
Uh,
you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I'm just gonna honestly, not really, because like I said, a lot of people don't want to hear the positive. And I'm gonna give you an example. I had a situation at work a while back, and what I do is I give what we call midweek. Uh, People will say motivations, whatever the case may be. One young lady was so offended by my midweek thoughts and motivation that she printed them all out and she gave them to HR, thinking that was going to cause me to get fired.
wow.
And it made me sit back and I go, hmm, wow, really? Is that what it is? Right? So when HR came to me, the lady was like, oh, keep it up. And I said, when I send those out, it's not just for my team, it's also for me.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever she told y'all behind the scenes, I really don't care. I'm not going to respond to it because I've been this way since I've been on this account for 7 years, and I'm not going to change. So if y'all feel that's an issue or a problem, do whatever you need to do. And they sitting there like, huh? I said, no, because you can take one person because somebody's emotional about everything when they come to work. And I'm trying to explain to them, hey, leave your feelings or whatever it is at the door. Don't bring it inside of work. If I'm trying to get you to understand whatever it is you got going on the outside, leave it there. Because not only does it impact me, but it impacts the rest of the team. And mind you, we got over 500 and some odd people that work in this bank that we walk by, talk to, address this, that, and the third. But you got a problem with me because you got so much emotional baggage that you can't see the goodness in the people that's around you because you're so miserable. You had to go do some nonsense that really wasn't necessary because I challenged you.
Correct. Yeah. And that's crazy, man, that you mentioned that, because the funny thing is sometimes, you know, it even tells us in our word, it said steadfast. So a lot of people don't even want to stay still enough in order to receive what is given to them. And what you given a motivation, it might be something that that person, or if this who you are and know who you are, that can help them through wherever they might, like you said, leave it at the door. But some people carry it to the house, they carry it to the job, they carry it to their family house, they carry it everywhere they go. They carry that burden and they don't want to let that burden go, but not just even something as simple as listening to release that negative off of you. They don't even want to take time enough to hear the message that's given to you, either like you said, every week or every other day, or however that it comes. They're not willing to even hear that part. And you know, I'm pretty sure everybody in, like I said, in the chat and even on the panel, have ran into somebody saying like everything is they complain. And one response that I gave one guy, and he said, well, man, this and that. And he was basically saying everything negative about the economy, everything about that, about this. And I'm like, okay, so what are you going to do about this instead of complain? What you mean? What are you going to do? What am I going to do? I said, well, I mean, apparently the complaining part is not working out because you're still here. And I'm not saying it to be nasty or mad, you know, real rambunctious about it, but I'm just saying that you constantly complaining, but what are you going to do about it? And the guy left. The next day, he didn't want to speak. He didn't want to say two words to me. The following, probably about a week later, you know, he came to me later on and he was like, hey, man, you know what? Something that you said to me made a lot of sense. He said, I wanted to discuss it with my wife. He said, I was a little upset, man. I'm not going to lie to you. He said, but then as I thought about it, he said, yeah, it do make a lot of sense. He said, why am I complaining? What am I going to do about it? And his wife said, well, I would agree with him. And he was like, what? You going to go agree with him? And she was like, yeah, I agree with him. I mean, he's telling me this with his wife. And I'm like, well, I said, I wouldn't tell it. And then he said, well, I took that as an insult. He said, how would you take it? She said, why would you take it as an insult when he's trying to give you as so low-key motivation to do something different if it's not working for you? So when you made that statement and just was telling me what you're saying and the you know, stuff that happened with the scenario, then I get it. I understand it. And sometimes a lot of us don't want to hear the message that is given to them. You know, they blow it off or they keep moving, or, you know, they don't, you know, oh, I ain't got time to hear that. But you know what I'm saying? It's something that when you do what you do, Sir Miguel, and I sit here and do what I do, and we doing it on the same page, I think I believe in being obedient. You know,
absolutely.
And when I be obedient and it's given to me to relay that, I'm going to do that exactly what is given to me. You know what I mean? Because it's not everybody is given that talk and that word in that ear and that voice to give something to someone else. Because it's funny, sir. I be sitting there talking. I remember I used to work at the transit system in Houston, and you know, a lot of times people be going through stuff, and I would literally speak to 200 plus drivers a day. Matter of fact, that 200 out of the 200, one of them is my wife as we speak. so that's how I met my wife. But I would always ask, well, how are you doing? How's that day? And some people like that wouldn't even receive that from their own home. You know, the first time I asked somebody, well, how was your day? They looked at me like I said something wrong. And I was like, did I say something wrong? They were like, no. You know, I mean, I just knows every day you say to ask me, well, how was my day? You know, and I'm like, well, I mean, that's just me. I get on. It's repetitive, of course, but it's the point of how much of that took out of me to ask you how was your day. And a lot of people later on would say that they never even got that at their own home with they're the person that they lay down with every night. You know what I mean? So some of us don't get it, but we have to understand that it's nothing wrong with speaking. It's nothing wrong with giving people encouragement. Even if you seem like your situation is bad, but if you see somebody falling, don't just let them fall. You know, if you can help them, help them. And I think that's where the message that we're giving, as far as Sir McGill page, our page of what we're doing, there's no competition. There's no nothing. It ain't about who get this. It's the point of being on the same page, giving the same message, just in different ways. That's all it is, man. But at the end of the day, it's all mean the same thing. And that's that's the message that we're putting across. I mean, if you would agree on that, Brother Brigel.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I think at the end of the day, it's about who you can be a blessing to and who you can give a blessing to. Because at the end of the day, it's not about what I'm getting out of it. It's about how can I make this root grow into a plant to a tree, so that every branch can have a leaf that grows and produces something positive or very good fruit.
Right.
See, it's easy to bear negative because it's producing something, but it's not really giving that energy to carry on to the next level of producing something that will live on eternally. Negative will spark something for the moment, but it's not giving that actual fruit that will go on forever. If you follow what I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think in turn, too many people are looking at the messenger and not the message.
Oh, wow.
Because too many people want to be lined up with your purpose that God has given you for you only. And they're reacting as, why did God give it to you and why he didn't give it to me? Perfect example, Cain and Abel. See, we have a lot of Cain and Abels in the earth. But at the end of the day, we're all trying to learn something. But are you trying to kill it by your negative attitude or your negative response?
Powerful, man. I mean,
so however you receive it, it's up to you. But the message is bigger than you, and the messenger wasn't really here for you. He was here for those who are lost and who couldn't see. But you're taking it as though the messenger is attacking you, but he's giving you a message to help you long term as well as short term.
Absolutely.
He or she, that is. However God uses you.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, my brother, I will continue to stay on the path of where I am because I've always been this way since I was a kid. No matter what goes on around me, I still have to continue to be the light at some point or another. Because I always tell people, as long as you're not taken away from my family, You're not threatening people who I care about. You're not messing with my money, and you're not trying to attack my spirit. What you say and do does not affect how I'm going to move to help other people around me who may need my advice or assistance or whatever the case may be, because I'm not moved by what you say. I'm only going to move how God intends for me to move whenever He needs me to, how He needs me to, and how I can be a servant, because I can't lead unless I know how to serve. Too many people want to lead but don't know how to serve.
Absolutely, man. Powerful, brother. Powerful, man. Like I said, that's why I enjoy when you come on the panel, and I'm glad, man. And the funny thing, man, I told him, I said, man, y'all please, man, go check out Sir Miguel. And I didn't know that you didn't come on, because I'm like, well, damn, I didn't see a notification. So, but I definitely pump your page up, man, and tell them, yeah. And I'm gonna say it again. If anybody here, conversation with Sir Miguel, go check him out. He said, when you gonna do your live again?
It's going to be this Friday, and if you care to go watch a couple of the little replays I shared, feel free to do so. But on this Friday, it's going to be basically talking about, are you living or are you existing? So many people are existing but not living.
That's powerful, man. Like I said, so again, conversations with Sir Miguel. Please like, share, subscribe to this brother, man, because as everybody here, man, he's deep, he's the truth, and he tells it straight like it is, man. So let's definitely get more of this going. If anybody thinks that they can reach out to myself, or I know I'm pretty sure they can reach out to Sir Miguel. If you think about doing something, because the more the merrier, the more that we can get more channels up, man, like this. Like I say, it's not a competition. It's about trying to get a good, positive message out there. If you decide to get a channel, please do, because we need more of it. We need definitely more of it, man. So, but yeah, man, let me get on out of here. I don't want to hold everybody too much longer. Sir Miguel, D, Quinn, Chris, Pam, Frankie and Johnny, I appreciate you, man. We really, really, really do appreciate it. And look, I look forward to it. D is coming in Friday, sir, so I might have to hit a replay.
Hey, brother, look here, man. Your support enough. Just even sharing the information is enough, brother. If you check it out live, if you check the replay out, it's all good, baby. Because at the end of the day, we know what it is. We doing God's work. You know what I'm saying? So you bounce information off of me, I bounce information off of you, and at the end of the day, brother, we doing something that's not only benefiting other people, but it's also going to benefit us as men, so we can continue to grow and be where God needs us to be. So it's all love, brother. All love.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, man. But again, I'm gonna have to say one more conversation with Sir Miguel. They put it in the chat. If anybody want to see it, go check him out on 7:30. Wait a minute, hold on. That's 7:30.
That's 7 my time. Yeah.
You 3 hours behind Eastern, so that's 4:30 your time.
No, it'll be 7:30 my time. It'll be 10:30 your time.
10:30 my time. Oh yeah, well yeah, I might. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, man. But yeah, y'all go check him out, man. Like I said, y'all see that's just a preview of what's to come for his channel, man. And definitely, like I said, again, Sir Miguel, I appreciate you, brother. I really do, man. And bro, keep bringing that message and bringing that positivity, man, because I guarantee many like myself, man, we all love it, man, because what you do is it's very powerful, man, and very helpful to all of us, man. So we definitely look forward to, man, seeing this thing grow, man, like I said, and definitely, man, getting that message out there, brother.
Absolutely. Again, brother, I appreciate your support. I thank you to the people on the panel and the chat. I appreciate you all 1,000%. And at the end of the day, it's about all of us. And I think as long as we continue to grow as human beings, yes, sure, we're gonna fall short, but if we can lift each other up and pick each other up, then we'll make a world of difference. Because even us as adults, we are part of this future too. So we can't leave our brothers and sisters that are adults that may fall by the wayside. We got to pull them up into the future as well. So, again, brother Shaq, I thank you. I appreciate you. And again, brother, much love to you and the wife. People on the panel. Just continue to grow and continue to ask God to give you strength in all you do.
Hey, let me ask you a question, brother. Now, we hadn't done it in a while, man. But hey, would you mind, man? Would you take us out in prayer, brother? Because I definitely, I think a lot of people need prayer at this moment, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for allowing us to breathe the breath of fresh air of life again today. We thank you for your mercy and your grace. For you didn't have to wake us up this morning, Heavenly Father, but you saw in your grace and your mercy to allow your breath of life to breathe through our nostrils again on this wonderful Monday. For we know somebody didn't wake up this morning, for they returned to you because they did their purpose on this earth and in this life. But we thank you, Heavenly Father, for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died on a cross for our sins. For you and you alone know our beginning and our end. But we thank you for allowing us to breathe. We thank you for your word. I thank you for Brother Shaq. I thank you for the folks in the chat. I thank you for the beautiful people on this panel. Watch over them. Keep them safe from the crown of their head to the soles of their feet. And let every step they take be guided by you. And let them know that they are loved. They are covered. That you are the foundation of the world. You are the beginning and the end. You are the Alpha and the Omega. For you, all things come through your Son, Jesus Christ, who you sent on this earth to save us, to give us a word that we may follow. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, everyone. Once again, man, thank you, Brother Miguel. And man, we will do this again, my brother. Hey, if you're available on Wednesday, man, we're gonna do another one. And if you come up with a title, send me a title, brother. And we could definitely,
I can give it to you right now. Salt versus sugar.
Wait a minute, say it again.
Salt versus sugar.
Oh, you got 11. Oh, you got to kind of send me some on that one. Oh yeah, you got me on that one, brother. Oh man.
Oh yeah. You know what, brother? I'll do even better. I'm gonna give you a call tomorrow evening when I get off. We can chop it up on that.
Okay, that's a bet. And then, yeah, definitely, man, because that sounds deep, brother. I can imagine how that goes come out. That sounds deep.
Absolutely. Because the caveat is this: they both look alike.
Ooh. Boy. See, I'm talking about this. That's the type of stuff that brother bring, man. They bring it, man. Brother Miguel, like I said, brother Chris, Sister Quinn, man, Frankie and Johnny, I appreciate y'all, man. We just want to tell you, God bless everybody. Let everybody have a wonderful, wonderful night. Wonderful rest of the week. We'll do this again, Lord's will, on Wednesday. And we're gonna talk about some. I'm gonna put that up there, but we go. I'm ready to hear about this one.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, y'all have a great, wonderful night, and thanks again, brothers and sisters.
All right.
You have a great night. All right.
God bless.